Dear Bundy and fellow Tongsius, I am Siwan, born and raised in Malaysia, but am now based in Canada. I would love to share my 2025 year-end reflection with all of you. 2025 has been a year where I consciously began turning inward and reflecting on myself. I started the year by attending the year-end meditation retreat, which was a completely new experience for me. For the first time, I intentionally placed myself in an environment designed to slow down, quiet external noise, and focus inward. That experience planted the seed for the rest of the year and gave me a reference point for what it feels like to truly pause and look at myself. As the year went on, weekly Dharma sharings became a consistent space for reflection. Having time in each week to look back on my experiences allowed me to connect my daily life with the teachings in the text. Through this process, I began to reflect on my past actions, emotional responses, and the lessons I was learning. Reflection, however, is something that I had rarely practiced before this year. Facing my true self still feels unfamiliar and uncomfortable. And even now, I'm learning how to stay with that discomfort instead of instinctively avoiding it. On a broader level, 2025 also feels like the year artificial intelligence truly entered everyday life. AI became very widely discussed, implemented, and accessible, and I saw its impact very clearly in my work. A new hire at my company, fresh out of school, was tasked with reviewing and improving a portion of our product's software. He relied heavily on AI to conduct research, generate programming, and structure the framework of the program. When I compare this with how my senior developed the same software a decade ago, through textbooks, online forums, and long periods of trial and error, the contrast is striking. In just 1 month, the new hire produced an improved version of the software that originally took almost 2 years to develop. This impressed our CEO so much that the company formed an AI implementation team to promote education and efficiency through AI. Seeing this made me reflect on adaptability. At the pace that AI is advancing, hesitation towards change makes it very easy to be left behind. The productivity AI offers is unparalleled, but it also raises a deeper question for myself. If everyone has access to the same AI tools, how do I differentiate myself? AI excels and does a good job at defined task and execution, but not the best in critical thinking, problem solving, planning direction, and knowing what's the right questions to ask. Those remain deeply human strengths still. Being a thinker rather than only a doer is what separates those who continue to grow from those whose role may eventually be replaced. This reflection naturally extended into how I view my human relationships. A theme that resonated strongly with me this year is how many relationships have increasingly become more and more superficial. I noticed this clearly when comparing two different friend groups in my life. One group consists of friends I met during university, who I've known for more than 8 years. Many of them have moved to different cities or different countries, and we now mostly keep in touch through social media. The other group is made up of people I meet weekly in person to play badminton. Although I've known this group for only about a year, the sense of closeness feels much stronger. I realized that much of our daily lives is spent either at work or at home. In the past, time at home was often mainly for rest, while social interaction happened outside and in person. With the rise of smartphones and constant internet access, communication and entertainment has become so convenient that virtual interaction often replaces physical presence. When connection becomes so effortless, it can lose its weight and intention. I find that when I meet someone in person, the time shared feels more meaningful and often leads to much deeper connection. Moving forward, I want to prioritize building relationships that have depth and presence, and that when physical interaction is not possible, I want to treat virtual conversations with the same care and attention, seeing them as shared time and space rather than just background noise. Through reflection and listening to the Dhamma this year, I also came to recognize something important about myself, that I am a relatively soft person. A lot of this softness stems from a lack of confidence in myself. I often doubt my own judgment and hesitate to trust what I believe is right. I worry that my thoughts might be incorrect, which leaves me stuck, waiting for certainty, guidance, or an external sign before taking action. Over time, I begin to see that this waiting is simply another expression of my softness. I do not need a perfect solution before acting, nor do I need an external motivation to work on myself. Ultimately, I am the person who benefits the most from my own efforts, and no one will care more about my own growth than myself. This realization became clear to me through learning how to sew, a hobby that I picked up this year. At first, I waited for the perfect opportunity, a good deal on a sewing machine, or a class to inspire me. One day, I decided to let all of that go and simply buying a sewing machine. I had no experience, no teacher, no guidance. The beginning was intimidating and difficult, but through persistent and hands-on learning, sewing became one of my favorite activities. That experience showed me that confidence is built through action and not just waiting for the perfect moment to arrive. The same lesson can be applied to my own personal growth. And if I want to build confidence, I cannot wait until I feel completely ready. I need to just act, learn, adjust, and improve along the way, even when I am uncertain. Looking back on a year, I do see growth in myself. I've gained more clarity about who I am, where I'm strong, and where I still need improvement. At the same time, reflection still makes me uncomfortable. When my thoughts touch on my weaknesses, I often stop myself from going further, fearing that acknowledging them will reinforce my insecurities. Intellectually, I understand that this is not true, but emotionally, it still remains a challenge to me. Despite all of this discomfort, I did push myself into unfamiliar situations this year. Moving to a new company in a different industry required learning a lot of new skills. Meeting new people through badminton forced me to open up and work through social anxiety. Each of these uncomfortable experiences contributed to my growth. Yet, I also noticed my own tendency to still seek comfort, especially when stressed or tired. My relationship with exercise reflects this pattern. I recognize that my lifestyle has become sedentary and that it negatively affects my health. In response, I pushed myself hard, committing to regular exercise and setting high expectations. Eventually, fatigue built from balancing work, exercise, sleep, and daily responsibilities, and I retreat into comfort by stopping exercise again altogether. This cycle repeats itself over and over, creating instability and turning exercise into something that almost feels like punishment rather than care. In reality, exercise is supposed to be a positive practice that should be approached with consistency and moderation. Understanding the purpose behind it, the why, is essential. I'm learning that discipline is not just about acting only when I feel motivated. It's about showing up, especially when I do not want to, when discomfort feels the most strong. That is often where most meaningful growth happens. This lesson extends beyond exercise and applies to how I live my life more broadly. All in all, 2025 has brought me valuable insights into myself and opened up even more space for growth. I know that continuing this work will require a lot of energy, a lot of effort, and persistence. This journey is not just about waiting for motivation, it's about becoming the motivation. And as I step into 2026, I hope to have the strength to continue to improve myself, not only for my own sake, but also for the loved ones around me. Thank you everyone for listening to my reflection. I wish that Bande will go into 2026 with happiness, health, and wellness, and wishing all Tongsius to be happy, healthy, and well. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.